The Star Wars Solo movie was, let's say it, an interesting time, right? It's a movie that never should have been made in the first place, but they did. It did not do well financially. It was the first Star Wars movie to lose money. Had a lot of drama surrounding it. They brought on Lord and Miller, and I love Lord and Miller. I'm a huge geek boy for those guys. But the reality is they kind of messed it up. They agreed to make one movie and they started to make another one, and eventually Lucasfilm let them go. They brought in Ron Howard, who I think did a very, very good job. And ultimately, I thought Star Wars Solo was a really good little movie. It was really good. I liked it. Not super fantastic, but I liked it. It was a good space adventure movie. But it never should have been made in the first place, and it lost money. I mean, that's it. Bottom line. A lot of people have been wondering about, could there ever be a sequel to it? Could there be a spinoff with other characters? And then we heard at that famous Disney Investors Day live stream that they did when they announced things like the Fantastic Four and everything, they announced that there was going to be a Lando series. Justin Simons, who used to be a publicist for Paramount, so I used to work with him a little bit years ago, went on to write Dear White People and has had a lot of success. Justin Simons was put in charge of writing a series. And then we found out a little while ago that he wasn't writing the series anymore, but rather Donald Glover and his brother were coming on to write the series. Childish Gambino himself, the guy who plays Lando now, by the way, did a very good job, embracing the spirit of Billy D. Williams and putting his own kind of flair on it. Did a great job playing a younger Lando. He's now writing the show. Well, not anymore, because apparently it's not a show. According to Variety, this is going to be a feature film. This comes to us from Variety, who wrote, news broke in July that Donald and Stephen Glover had been tapped by Disney and Lucasfilm to replace Justin Simien as the writers of the new Lando television series on Disney+. But not so fast. The project is actually being developed as a Lando movie, Lucasfilm confirmed to Variety. Glover debuted as a young Lando Calrissian in 2017 Star Wars tentpole Solo, which was a notable box office disappointment for Disney and Lucasfilm. By the way, Glover himself has gone on to kind of indicate that, yes, this is going to be a movie, a feature-length movie. All right, I have two thoughts on this. My first thought is I always prefer a movie over a series. I just generally do. And so, because you get more resources poured into it, you get bigger bang for your buck per minute of screen time than you do for a television series. I love the idea of doing it as a movie. And I liked Solo, right? Even though I don't think the movie should have ever been made, I ended up liking it. And I loved him as Lando. So on the one hand, the fan side of me is like, sign me up. The other side of my brain, which tends to be the more pragmatic side, is, what the hell are you thinking? Nobody went to go see Solo. Why do you think for a second anybody's going to go see a Lando origin movie, a young Lando movie? Donald Glover was great, yes, and I expect that he will be nothing short of great in this movie. I'm sure, listen, he's an Emmy award-winning writer. He's a terrific performer.
He's an award-winning director.
He's going to be great. I have no doubt Donald Glover's going to be great in this. I don't even have a lot of doubt that it's going to overall be quite good. But Solo was good. And Donald Glover was in that. And nobody went to go see it. I think people are over, let's do the young version of this Star Wars character movie. I don't even think a lot of Star Wars fans are interested in it. So while I will be there day one to go see this movie, because I think Donald Glover's going to do a great job with it, him and his brother, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people in line with me when I go to see it. I was a little apprehensive about it as its chances for success as a Disney Plus show. I'm certainly apprehensive about its possibilities of being a hit as a movie, even though as a fan, I'd love to see it. I don't know. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of this video, MasterClass. Guys, as a small business owner, I am finding myself having to be in negotiations all the time, whether it's with new contractors, vendors, or even agencies that represent our company. Now, I don't like to go into these negotiations unarmed, so I found the perfect class on MasterClass, The Art of Negotiation by Chris Voss, a real-life former FBI lead hostage negotiator. Taking this class on MasterClass made me feel a lot more equipped and confident going into all these various negotiations calculations I have to do on a regular basis. With MasterClass, you can learn from the best to become your best anytime, anywhere, and at your own pace. An annual membership starts at just $10 a month, and you get unlimited access to every instructor, thousands of online lessons, exclusive content, insight, and much more. There are over 180 classes to pick from, everything from filmmaking with Martin Scorsese all the way to cooking with the great Gordon Ramsay. In MasterClass, you will find practical lessons that you can apply to your life and work. So guys, get unlimited access to every class, and right now, as a John Campea Show listener, you can get 15% off when you go to masterclass.com/Campea. That's masterclass.com/Campea for 15% off an annual membership. masterclass.com/Campea. No, Chris, you see this. First of all, I love the idea of it being a movie.
Yeah.
I would just never greenlight this, even though I'd love to see it as a fan. How do you feel?
I mean, I'm one of the people who thought Solo was fun. I know other people didn't go and turn out for it, but I think that Donald Glover has only gained power.
Yeah.
He's over 9,000 now. Mm-hmm. And I think people would come out to see a Lando film potentially because of how I think everyone agreed that he was such a wonderful Lando.
He was
no
really
matter
good
what
in
your
it.
criticism of what the movie was, I think most people really enjoyed him in the film. So I do think that there is some rhyme and reason to doing this. And also with Disney's track record of doing series that don't always stick the landing, I feel like movie is probably better because we'll get a more tight story, basically. That being said, we already have, and I say this as somebody who wants Star Wars to be on the big screen. That's always my biggest complaint is, why are they serious? Why am I not seeing this on a huge screen in a movie theater? There's 5 movies supposedly in the works already, right? We've got the Daisy Ridley one.
Supposedly being the key word.
Supposedly is big here, right? Because so far, the movies that have been announced, they really don't have anything coming with them. So there's the Daisy Ridley one. There's the Dave Filoni one. There's a James Mangold one. There is a Sean Levy one.
There's this Donald Glover
There's
one.
this one now too. I don't want them to take on too much. And that's been so much of, I think, Disney, Marvel, Star Wars. Their problem has been it's been so much quantity over quality. And that's what I want. If I get less movies, that's fine, as long as the movies I get are outstanding. I want them to be great. I love Star Wars. Same with my Marvel movies. I love Marvel. I want those movies to be great. I want to walk into an Ant-Man film and go, hell yeah, this is exactly the kind of thing that I want to see in a movie theater. Taste aside, right? Because things are still subjective, but I want them to just be executed well and not rushed and not done with weird stories that don't need to be told or that are fan servicey for the sake of fan servicey or just not well written. And I feel like that's the problem we keep running into is, hey, here's this really great idea. We don't really know how to execute it, but we're going to either rush it or scrap it. And I don't like those two options. I'd rather you scrap it than rush it, frankly. But I do want them to just get a bit more focused. And if changing this from a series to a film helps with that focus, I'm for it. But the entirety of the slate makes me really nervous.
Yeah, because on top of all those ones you mentioned, let's not forget they also had the
Skeleton Crew.
Well, that's a series,
yeah,
and that is coming out. There was, and we talked about this the other day, they had the Taika Waititi movie that they announced. That ain't ever going to happen. They had the Rogue Squadron, the Patty Jenkins Rogue Squadron movie that they even made this big production out of, putting a life-size X-Wing on a runway and blah, blah, blah. That movie's not happening. So yeah, they can say, and by the way, you know what? Hot take here. I don't think this Rey movie's going to happen either. Mm-hmm. I really don't. I think once a new head of Lucasfilm comes in, I think they're going to look at that and say, who greenlit this? Like, I just don't, like, kind of the epitome, the embodiment of the divisiveness in the Star Wars fandom around. Again, it's not Daisy Ridley's fault. Daisy Ridley's fantastic. I love Daisy. But I don't think that movie's going to happen. I got a feeling the James Mangold movie isn't going to happen. I think the Dave Filoni one will happen. But I don't know. It's good. And I have my doubts that this Lando one's going to happen.
Yeah.
I really don't. I mean, that's the state that Lucasfilm is in right now. They can announce all these things, and now and I don't think I'm alone. I think a lot of us are looking at all these projects and say, Yeah, talk to me when there's a trailer, maybe, because I just don't know that I believe this is happening. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.